Texting 12560. Talk to me, Goose. Talk to me. Back to the mid-frigid, upper, lower, halfway, whatever you want to call it, sack. Segment 2, Sunday NFL recap. That is the redoubtable one, Tom Izzo. I am the highly questionable one, RJ Miliaccio. IDD, for those of you who know, I don't disagree with you. For you rookies out there, welcome aboard. Segment 2, hey, Sunday was a very, 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 very interesting day. A lot of games, some shocking things happened on Sunday. The consistency of the NFC East, I can't believe it came out of my mouth, though, in that they've got a 4-0 team and 2 3-1 teams. I don't want to hear about, because I heard this all day, and the problem is with the people that said this know better because they played the game. At the end of the day, you got to play who's in front of you. You got to play who's on the schedule. Okay? And if you don't beat those teams, then you're going to get ripped apart for not beating those teams. So you can't have it both ways. Okay?
What are you saying?
I'm saying the NFC East needs to be applauded so far because the AFC West was supposed to be that's the fucking
the darling,
the darling of the league, and the NFC East has quietly produced 3 pretty solid looking football teams right now, and one of them's doing it with a backup quarterback. One of them is doing it with basically 2 players on the whole team, okay, and the Giants, and then the Eagles. No, there's 2 players on that football team. There's 2, the quarterback and the running back, and that's it. I don't know if there's 43 could just go take a nap. You're all fucking useless. I shouldn't say the defense. The defense has actually. I should take that back. The defense has kept them in virtually every game this year. So,
dude, Andrew Thomas,
the
defense left tackle.
Yeah, he's been good.
He's a stud.
He's been good. Problem is he can't catch, but that's okay because nobody else can either. So, bottom line is,
Danny Dimes hurt his foot.
Danny Dimes got hurt running for his fucking life. So, the thing is this, and Stephen A. Smith, shame on you, because you know better. And the problem was, a great line today, and Mondays he has Michael Irvin on. So Michael Irvin shows up in this electric pink suit. So, Molly Karam Rose, or is it somebody she called him, she goes, what do you think, Bubblegum? And Stephen A. goes, more like Bubblicious. I still have it. Whole set lost it, Bubblicious. So the whole rest of the show is Bubblicious Irvin. It's not Michael, it's Bubblicious. And by the way, that's going to stick, Mr. Irvin. That's going to stick. Because that outfit was loud. Okay, and
well, he meant it to be.
Oh yeah, he didn't fail. As usual in his career, he didn't fail there either. But the NFC East needs to be applauded to today because those teams, 3 of them anyway, have come out and done some pretty amazing stuff so far. And again, it's early. It's a small sample size. We're 4 games in. But the bottom line is, when you look at what the NFC East is right now, I'll tell you right now, the Philadelphia Eagles are the best team in football right now. If only because Tua Tagovailoa is hurt. Because if he's healthy, I think it's the Miami Dolphins tomorrow.
That really stinks for them.
It does stink, and that's terrible. And if Chris is watching this, I feel bad, and I hope he gets back as soon as he can, as long as he's 100% healthy. But
I wonder if he's going to be able to come back.
That's a great question, and someone uttered the R word today and retired.
Really?
Yeah, because, well, it was a concussion, and I get why they said that, because 2 in 5 days is really, really bad. You need time for, So.
Doesn't everybody that play on Thursday nights do that, basically? Don't they get concussions every single game? But maybe not like that.
But 2 in 5 days. Right? So that's not. Anyway, so Philly right now is the best team in football. They are. They're balanced. They're consistent. They are a lot of things, and they can beat you a number of ways. Kansas City.
They had a fight with the Jags, though.
They did. Well, the Jags are a good football team. I think it's safe to say they're good. I know how good they are. I don't know, but I know this. They're not a doormat anymore.
No, you can't just walk in there.
You can't walk in there and expect that you can't do that. Ask San Diego, or rather L.A., the Chargers about that one.
They were up 14-0.
They jumped on them quick, and to Philly's credit, they took a punch, and they came back. That tells you Philly's for real. Mm-hmm. So anyway, at least because resiliency is the other thing you got to see what happens when they face some adversity. Well, so Jacksonville came in there and hit them in the mouth, and Philly fought back, and they fought back.
Philly have any big wins yet?
You mean receive?
Like good teams? They got Detroit, the Skins. Detroit, the Skins.
Who are they beating? Minnesota, Jacksonville. Minnesota won again. Minnesota's 3-1, for what it's worth.
And I guess Minnesota's
So
what are they?
They're in first place in the NFC North.
Are they 3-1?
They're 3-1. They beat the Packers convincingly. That was their most impressive win. They barely beat New Orleans over in London with a guy from New Orleans. You see that kick at the end? Guy hit it was like a 50 or 60 yarder. Hit the thing and then hit the crossbar. So I never seen that where it hit one, actually hit the other one, and still could have bounced over, but didn't. That was must have been that's awful. And then Buffalo and people are going to question. I was going to introduce. You probably heard about this, but the Baltimore's Buffalo game. Baltimore's sitting there on the inside the 5. They go for a fourth down when they kick the field goal.
Tie game, right?
Yeah, and they could have gone up 3. And you know what? But now look, I would say that the one thing I will say about ESPN and NFL, this is literally 50-50. It is split down the middle. Half the people on NFL Network, literally it's half, are saying one and half are saying the other. Okay?
Really?
Yeah, it's literally split down the middle. That's why I wanted your take on this, because you saw the play, right?
I thought it was a no-brainer field goal kick.
Okay, well, you would be on one side of it. Okay?
What side were you on?
I was on the side of go for it. And I'll tell you why.
Get the touchdown.
I'll tell you why. Because what everybody on the NFL, and this is the one thing this is why I need to be on TV. Oh, wait, I am. So this is the one thing, well, not really TV, sort of TV. Anyway, everybody that was on the side of kicking the field goal kept saying the same thing. Your defense has got to make a stop. Give it to your defense. Get them up. They got to get this Miami thing out of their head. And all that made sense. Here's the problem. You put it in the hands of your defense. The reason that they have that opinion of the Raven defense is because of what the Raven defense once was.
10 years ago.
10 years ago, okay? So no one said what I'm about to say. No one on either network, okay? So this is my holy nugget of the week. When they were saying that, they had an image of a team that is no longer there, okay? The best player on that football team, period, was Ray Lewis. So my stance on this was,
who was the guy in the second? Ed Reed, too.
Ed Reed. So they had Ray Lewis was the best football player at one time in the league.
But
like Aaron Donald. They did, but Ray Lewis was the man. He was that dude. Okay, he was Aaron Donald. That's who he was. Okay, and he's got a ring to prove it. Okay, he almost got 2. The bottom line is, so when that's your guy, yes, you let Ray Lewis decide it because he's the best player. My stance on this was, when the game's on the line, you put the ball in the hands of your best player and you ride with him. Okay. Best player on the Ravens.
Offense or defense?
It doesn't matter. Whoever it is, yeah. So this is the one thing. This is why Rex Ryan and Ryan Clark, these are all defensive guys, by the way. No coincidence there. And Marcus Spear. Listen, that was a different team. If Ray Lewis is on this team in his prime, yes, all day, every day. Ray Lewis is not on this team. Okay. In fact, this team defensively has given up more passing yards than any team in the NFL over the past 18, 19 games.
That's a good point.
Okay. The best player on this team, and you've all said this, is Lamar Jackson. And they went to the tape, the people that were actually on my side, but no one said what I'm saying. Okay, you put the ball in the hands of your best player, you don't take it away. Okay, the people on the side of the field goal were thinking, well, and Michael Irvin said it very passionately with all the bottom line is, Mike, that ain't that team anymore.
See, I wouldn't say it passionately. I think it's a tough call either way.
I think it's a no-brainer because your defense is that bad and their quarterback's that good. So go for the touchdown and make him have to get a touchdown to beat you. It's a lot harder to go 80 yards than it is to go 50. Okay?
Right, but what they ended up doing was making it even easier.
Yep. But the point is,
instead of kicking a field goal to tie the game and force overtime, now they've got to kick a field goal to win. That's what ended up happening.
I'm saying your best player is on the field. You're on the 3-yard line.
What yard line were they on?
3-yard line.
They were on the 3?
Yep. I believe it was the 3. It was inside the 5.
I thought it was the 10.
No, it wasn't the 10. No, when he backpedaled, he was back behind the 10 when it was dropped.
So maybe it was from the 5.
The bottom line is, it was a 19-yard field goal. The end zone's 10 yards long. So yeah. So anyway, so the bottom line is,
so it was like a what?
19-yard field goal. Like from here to the
12-yard line.
From here to like the car.
12-yard line.
That's 22 yards. So the 9-yard line. So it's inside the 10. Okay. Bottom line is, it's that, or it's the guy that you've had. By the way, and their MO, this team with Harbaugh, who's won a Super Bowl, I might add, is to go for it in these situations because they always have. And they rolled the tape of all the times Lamar Jackson did this and got it.
Yeah.
Okay? Look, for all
then it's not a big deal.
It shouldn't be a big deal, but they were literally split down the middle. And the people that were ignoring one simple fact, when they're taught that team doesn't exist anymore. Ray Lewis, their best player, is not a defensive player anymore. If it is, I totally agree with him.
To me, I don't see it as one of those decisions like the Denver coach made.
No,
you know
it
what I'm saying?
that
Like, it's
bad.
like
No,
if
that
he
wasn't
had
that bad.
if he had kicked the field goal,
The Denver guy wasted all this time.
right? But then
kicked the field goal.
made the wrong decision.
And made the wrong decision on top.
On this one, it's kind of like if he kicks the field goal, they lose by a touchdown. I would have been like, I understood why he kicked the field goal. Mm-hmm. If he goes for it and they end up giving up a field goal for the victory, I still can also go, I understand why he did it. So
because his best player is Lamar Jackson.
I mean, it's either way.
Put the ball in and Lamar Jackson,
wasn't a bad decision.
After the game, like, look, I didn't make the play. If I make the play, I should have made it. And next time I will. And that's how he said it. You know, I gained a lot of respect for Lamar Jackson because he didn't run from it. He owned it. And he had it like every great player who said, next time I'm going to hit it. Mm-hmm. Okay, look, Larry Bird didn't.
I feel like he's always kind of been that guy, right?
No, he has. But I've never really heard a lot of that. But things he backed his coach, which was great. Mm-hmm. And he said, look, this is on me, not the coach. He's like, I got to make that play. Next time I will. And that's the way he said, like, yeah, you think I can't do it? Oh, I'll fucking do it. Okay, and I love that.
I like Lamar.
I like that about him, and I didn't really know. I've heard that, but now I saw it. It's one thing to hear, it's one thing to see it. And that was kind of cool. That he
off
did
the field, I like the fact that like he doesn't have an agent.
No, he represents himself.
Now, whatever he does with his salary, the contract he signs, I still got to give a lot of credit to the guy.
Yeah.
To be like, I'm not just gonna give somebody money to talk on
my behalf. I can talk
I'm
for
gonna
myself.
fucking do it,
which I get.
Like I like that about him.
No, I do,
and I think that translates to who he is on the field too.
It does.
Because
genuinely, he's a good guy. He's a good dude. He's a competitor. And by the way, he's gotten better every year.
Scared.
He's improving every year as a player overall. He's a better passer now than he was 3-4 years ago. He is. Okay, and he's been smarter about it. So to me, he's evolving. Yeah. Okay, and I like what he said. Because he didn't run from it.
Yeah.
He made no excuse. He owned it. He said, you know what? Next time I'm going to get it. And that's the attitude you want. Like we're talking about Mahomes. That's the attitude you want. Yeah. Speaking of that, Sunday night, Patrick Mahomes basically was a one-man wrecking crew. Hey, Tampa, you had a defense. Was it still in Miami? What happened? What happened? Yeah. I mean, that's the same defense. What the hell?
What was the final?
41-31 because Brady threw for Brady didn't quit. Brady showed up. I mean, but he was playing. Brady was playing from 2 touchdowns down all game long. Because
Brady throwing to last night? Did he have everybody?
He had them all, and threw for 385 and 3 touchdowns. So
did they go down big early?
Yeah, they fumbled the opening kickoff. Brady never even got the ball. They fumbled inside the 20. The Chiefs had the ball in the 20 before anybody blinked. It was 7-0. I'm like, oh my God. That couldn't have started any worse. Then Brady gets
the offense comes out and does 3 and out. Or something?
No, they got 3 back. It was 7-3.
Okay.
But then Casey scored again. They went down again.
So they're 14-3.
14-3, and then Brady gets hit from a blind blitz that he didn't see. Guy came around the other end. The tackle hit. Hell of a play call, by the way. Guy came behind the blitzing end. They blitzed 2 to that side, so you couldn't see him. And he came around. He came around on the outside, and Brady didn't see him, and he hit Brady and stripped the ball loose. But that was only a field goal.
Brady went Danny Jones on him?
Yeah. Well, he did. He didn't saw him. He was throwing. He was going to throw. Oh. So he got hit as the ball dropped, and he went down. So he didn't have a chance to even. He didn't just drop it. He got knocked out. He was trying to throw.
So then what happened?
So they got held to a field goal, 17-3.
Jeez. So that's what, first half?
First half. Then the Brady takes him down, 17-10, touchdown.
This is third quarter?
No, this is first half.
Oh, wow.
Then they score the next 10 points or whatever. It's 28-10 because the defense did not show up.
Yeah.
Because here's the other thing that we're talking about. Kansas City ran now Tampa has the number 1 rushing defense rather in the NFL. The Chiefs ran for 200 yards on them.
God.
And Dan Orlovsky there pointed out, I've never seen Vita Vea, the nose tackle. I've never seen him get manhandled. That was an ass whooping. It was an ass whooping because from
the Chiefs have an O-line
200 yards.
Chiefs O-line good again?
Apparently. Or what Andy Reid did was he showed them the Super Bowl tape all week long, which is probably what he did, right. When they pistol whipped their offensive line. Mm-hmm. So the thing is, and Booger McFarland, who lives in Tampa, was saying, that Tampa Bay defense, there's a fine line between confidence and arrogance. And they've been acting pretty arrogantly.
Really?
And they got humbled.
What have they been like?
He sees them out around Tampa. He's like, there's a difference between confidence and arrogance. They're pretty arrogant right now. And not surprised at what happened. And that was a very nice nugget from Booger McFarland. Didn't pull it out of here, but it was pretty good. So anyway, Brady ended up having much better numbers than Mahomes. Mahomes made this one play, though, where he spun around because Devontae David, or one of the super linebackers, missed a sack, and then he threw this little skip, whatever you call it, pass for a touchdown to my guy. So I loved it. Fantasy football, woo, winning. Edwards-Helaire for a touchdown in the end zone.
He hit him with a little dink?
Like a little 3-yard dink, but he spun out of a sack.
Yeah.
And then threw it over another guy.
Yeah,
and
he's great at that.
And so this just in, Patrick Mahomes is mobile. But he threw a pick in that game.
He's like MacGyver, the way he can fit things.
He didn't play a perfect game. He made some mistakes, but he threw a pick. And he had 14 incomplete. He wasn't.
I feel like that's become Mahomes.
Yeah. So I mean, and the bottom is, he's missing the cheetah too. It's not all on him.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's done a hell of a job spreading the ball around. To his credit, he's evolved his game. He's not afraid to fail, and that's great. So he played, but the Tampa defense didn't show up.
Yeah.
I mean, they just didn't show up. The Tampa offense showed one thing, though, that they can literally go like that if they have to and flip a switch, and they did and actually got back in the game. But every time they did, the damn defense would give up on a score. It was ridiculous. So,
when you fight back from 17-3
and 28 to 10,
17-10, and then boom, it's 28-10,
and your defense, your number one defense, looks like the freaking
right.
Looks like the Detroit Lions defense, by the way. Oh my God.
What about the Detroit Lions offense?
Yeah, it's too bad they don't have a defense.
It's like they're one of the most high-flying offenses.
They are by far the highest scoring offense in the NFL right now.
But some of that is like they get down by 20 every game.
They get down by 20 because their defense is fucking awful.
Except for the
they're giving up 30,
Redskins game.
They're giving up 36 points a game. Even the Redskins game, they gave up 27.
My bad, Commanders.
Whatever you want to call losers. Call them losers. They're the ones that losers. The Washington losers.
They're going to beat the Giants.
No, they're not. No, they're not.
I think they are.
No, they're not. If Saquon Barkley doesn't play, they will. Because they'll have no one. But if they have him, they can beat them with him. Because they're
so did you watch the Giants-Bears game?
With you. We put it on over here. We had it on. We were watching it together.
Were we?
Yes, we were. Over there in Donnie B's.
Was it like at the end of the game?
We watched from the middle of the third quarter to the end. We had it on.
You sure?
Yes, I was watching it because the Patriots were the other game.
God, why don't I remember that?
I have my theory. But anyway, my theory is kept falling asleep. That's one thing.
Oh, that's right. I was falling asleep.
You took 4 naps, 4 cat naps. Anyway, so the Giants won a Donnie in New York, and they're 3-1
ugly,
now.
just
I don't care. Good teams win ugly.
Duckling of a game.
Good teams win ugly. They do. So
it was against the Bears, who were pretty bad.
They were 2-1 coming into the game.
The Bears? They've beaten the Niners and who?
Who's the team they beat? They won last week, actually. They lost to the Niners. I'm sorry, they beat the Niners. They beat the 19-10. Yeah. That was the opener. Who was the other game? They lost to Green Bay 24-10.
Yeah, but who'd they win?
They beat. Hold on. I have it in front of me here. But anyway, they were 2-1. Where are they?
That just surprised me. I didn't realize they had won 2 games.
Oh, no, everyone's surprised. You're not the only one, Tom. Yeah, Chicago's 2-2. Who did they beat? They were 2-1.
Titans are 2-2 now.
They beat Houston 23-20. So they beat San Fran, who right now is 17-9 on the Rams. Okay, they lost to Green Bay at Green Bay. No shame in that. They beat Houston, who by the way, Houston's played everybody tough. They really have. Yeah. They have a tie, and they beat Chicago. Well, they lost to the Giants, who were 2-1 and lost to the Cowboys by a touchdown. So with no offense, but 2 guys. So anyway, the bottom line is Chicago's not a terrible team. No. Okay, but so the Giants are 3-1. They need to be commended for being 3-1.
Who do they get this weekend?
They have Green Bay in London.
Oh, that's right, 9:30.
Yeah. Hey, here's the good news. The Green Bay running defense sucks.
Does it?
Pats ran for $167 on them.
Oh. Well,
okay.
The Giants
with a third-string quarterback who couldn't throw it from me to him.
Well, so the Giants might have their third string in.
Yeah, that's true. We don't know what's going to happen.
Because he twisted his ankle. And Tyrod Taylor got knocked out.
Concussion.
Yeah. And after what happened to Tua, they're not bringing Tyrod back this week, I guarantee.
He ain't coming back. No.
He got laid out.
Yeah, he got laid out. I saw that hit. So anyway, but the
bottom line is helmet to helmet.
But if they lose that game to Green Bay, who's 3-1, then they're 3-2. Not a big deal. It doesn't kill them. So the bottom line is the Giants are in this mix right now, and at least for the season, they're going to be in it.
Yeah.
So the thing is, the NFC East, my takeaway from this weekend is commend them, don't trash them, because I'll sick Philly on you, then we'll see how funny you are. Okay,
Dude, the Cowboys aren't that
the
bad.
Cowboys have won 2 in a row with their backup quarterback,
Yeah.
and their defense, by the way, hasn't given up 17 points in a game over that all
D
season.
is pretty good.
Their D is better. It's elite. It's elite right now. So the Cowboys are for real. They get Dak back. They're going to be a problem. Okay, the NFC East has potentially 3 legit teams in it right now, and that shouldn't be laughed at or scoffed at or whatever. Stephen A. You know what problem? Stephen A's mad about the Steelers.
Who put them away this weekend?
The
Jets.
The
Oh.
Jets.
That's right.
They benched their starting quarterback. I'm sorry. They benched their starting quarterback, right? Because the answer is on the bench. Well, the answer had 3 interceptions.
Sorry, folks. I didn't think it was that funny either.
It's the New York Jets. That's all I got to say. It's the New York Jets. The laughing stock of the NFL for the past, 20 years, save for a couple of Rex Ryan years. I mean, good God. The New York football Jets.
The New York football Giants.
They come into your house. You are they're desperate. Pittsburgh's you need this game. If there was ever a cure for it, God's saying, all right, well, I'm gonna give you the Jets this weekend. Okay, it's like God stepped in to help you, and even the Almighty couldn't stop you from yourselves. So this kid, and by the way, to be fair, we're being fair. Not every one of them was his fault. A couple of them were tipped. It was not his fault, and he did actually have a high completion percentage. But their offense was just as anemic as it was before. So maybe it's not the damn quarterback. Maybe it's the freaking offensive line, which people have been saying for 4 years. Why aren't you drafting? What are you doing to address this offensive line? It drove Roethlisberger into retirement because he had the shit beat out of him for 4 straight years. Okay?
No, Roethlisberger had the shit beat out of him for 16
Yeah,
years.
but the line was better back in the day with the Bucs. They had better lines. He would hold on to the ball too long, if anything. But this is he has 3 seconds to throw, bang.
I don't know that you could ever rate that line because he was always so good.
He was, but they could run the ball. They had a good running game. They had a line.
You're right.
So I mean, the bottom line is, they.
Dude, without Watt, it's like that's a completely different team.
It is defensively.
Did you see JJ played this week?
I did with that procedure that he. Yeah,
with his heart.
Yeah, that wasn't. He was not happy about that.
He was crying.
He was not happy about that. Look, I'm glad he's healthy. They
had to shock his heart back into rhythm.
That's pretty crazy.
Scary.
Yeah, that's a pretty crazy thing. So anyway, Pittsburgh has to stick with this kid Pickett, who's now going to get the shit beat out of him for 17 weeks.
Well, they could always.
Which means
they could go back to Trubisky. They left the door open.
I don't think he was doing anything. You talk about with the Giants all the time. If you don't have a line, right, and you're constantly running for your life, how do you evaluate anyone?
Yeah, no, but I'm saying
you can't.
Tomlin has left the door open, so he could go. We realized not the best time to do that. Trubisky's playing this. We wanted to try to get a spark.
Unless that kid gets hurt, Mitchell Trubisky has played his last snap in Pittsburgh.
Really?
Yep.
Dang.
I guarantee it. Okay. Unless this kid gets hurt, which, by the way, is very possible. Okay, with that line. So, which leads us to
Patriotas.
I've had thankfully 24 hours to stew over this. You must have saw the game. Actually, it was a hell of a game. Turned into a hell of a game. Patriots out in Green Bay to face that bad man. And for a half, they made that bad man just look bad. They picked pick 6 on him. He was 4 for 11. I was wondering what the hell happened to him. But Aaron Rodgers is a great quarterback. Everything I say about him, he's still a great quarterback. And it took him about a half to figure out what Bill Belichick was doing. Bill Belichick, in his infinite wisdom, didn't figure out that Aaron Rodgers would eventually figure out what the hell he was doing.
You're saying he should have switched it up on him second.
I'm saying that just because something's working, know that the guy in the locker room is not going to let that happen 2 halves in a row. In their battles with the Chiefs, it happened all the time. So it's not like he's not familiar with this. The bottom line is that forget the defense for a minute. Brian Hoyer, by the way, Pats Nation, you owe me a thank you. It was not easy getting that Green Bay uniform on. I had to hightail it back here for the fourth quarter. I almost didn't make it, but you saw me. I got a good shot on Hoyer. Knocked him out, maybe forever. Anyway, so you owe me one for that one. Someone had to do something there. Anyway, so bottom line is, this kid Zippy Zappy Zoopy Zipper, whatever the hell is, comes in and plays pretty damn well. Pretty damn well. And there was a moment there where I actually thought, Tom, I actually said to myself, holy shit, Matt Patricia finally got a clue. There was a moment when it actually looked like it happened.
What was that moment?
Well, it was really from the second and third. It was 2 quarters. The play calling made sense. The
touchdown pass from Zappy was a nice
best
play.
call Matt Patricia's ever made, and he made the play, perfect play, like froze the second level. Kid snuck out on the right side, threw a nice lead, floated, led him right to the goal line. Great pass. That was the call of the year for the Patriots. That right there. And then right at that moment, when I thought to myself, this might actually happen. The defense stops them. So Green Bay punts. The Pats get the ball back. Now, albeit it's just inside the 10-yard line, but there's 1:52 left. They've got 2 timeouts, and all they need is a field goal, and they have a kicker who can bang them from 50 like that. Nick Falk. It's a good one. So I'm like, my head went back to the Super Bowl against the Rams when the Pats were 3 quarters, but then Kurt Warner figured it out. And all of a sudden, boom, boom, now it's 17-17. 1:24 left. The Pats are inside not the 10, but inside the 25, and they go for it. Okay? So I'm like, all right, well, Bill Belichick knows this is his chance to win this game. And they don't need a touchdown, they just need a field goal. So what does Bill do, or Matt, or whoever? They run 3 fucking dive plays right into the teeth of the defense, punt it back, and play for overtime. This is the oldest saying in the world, and you've heard it. When you play not to lose, you lose. And you literally lose 100 fucking % of the time.
So what did they do in that situation?
They ran 3 dive plays right into the teeth of the defense, punted it out, and played for overtime. Now, let's take the analytical look at this first.
Did Aaron end the game after that?
Of course he did. Why did you even ask that question? You knew the answer.
I couldn't remember if they went to OT or not.
They did.
They did.
They ran the clock down to where they could punt it. So he had about 10 seconds left, and they played for overtime. So they go to overtime. They actually stopped them on the first drive. The Pats get the ball at the 50-yard line.
Oh, my God. In OT?
In OT.
Second possession.
So the Packers have actually had a possession. So now all you got to do is kick a field goal, and you're at the 50, first and 10, and from there,
dives?
Matt Patricia, I don't know what they were. They didn't. Whatever it was didn't work.
Were they pass?
I don't know what it was supposed to be. One play looked like it was supposed to go to the left. One play looked like it was supposed to go to the right.
Runs?
One play. Well, one was like a screen pass or whatever. One was a run. And the next thing you're in third and whatever. And I'm like, and they got like 5 yards on third down. They had a punt.
And then they lost.
Now, the analytical side of this, before we backtrack with me. Walk with me. Aaron Rodgers at Lambeau Field. Do you know what his record is at Lambeau Field?
It's ridiculous.
It's 83, 13, and 1. That's an 82% win percentage. So before the game started, before the game started, the Pats had an 18% chance of winning. Before the game started.
Imagine
now,
been to one of his losses.
Man,
you're unlucky.
Now you're with the ball and 2 timeouts and only needing a field goal, and your quarterback was actually playing well, and your offensive coordinator actually looked like an offensive coordinator for the first time.
Where were the Pats starting with the ball at the end of the fourth?
Like the 9-yard line.
Okay, so they had to go the distance.
They had to get to field goal.
Yeah,
but a field goal you can get to.
Sure.
Okay, that
and you have to go 60
what you do is
right?
That's it, 50, 60 yards. What you do is you go 4 wide in the shotgun, you don't take a sack. If you're in trouble, throw it out of bounds or whatever. Or or at least out of that, you run a play.
Bailey Zapp.
He was playing well. The bottom line is your odds of winning that game were 18% before your second stringer got knocked out. So what was it with the third stringer? You got one chance to win a game like that. Yeah. The Green Bay defense.
Like it didn't cost
the Green Bay defense was gassed. Well, basically, you gave the Green Bay defense a chance to rest and recoup. And they shut them down in the overtime.
No, but I'm saying in overtime, you got the ball with the chance to win at the 50.
But
that's an even better position to be in.
I know, but the bottom line is you shouldn't have. I wouldn't have given Aaron Rodgers another possession period. Do you know why? Because as bad as he was in the first half, in the second half, in one stretch, he was 14 for 15.
Sure, no.
He figured you out. You're going to give this guy another chance?
Look, I agree with what you're saying here. I'm just saying,
no,
it didn't cost them because they
that's
actually
like saying,
were in a better position in overtime to win the game.
That's like saying that because again, the bottom line is they never should. Why would you even go to overtime? End it.
No, I agree with that.
End it.
I agree that they should have went for it.
Don't give this guy. Why would you? What's the difference between you giving him one more chance and 3?
Dude, my point is that at the end of it, it actually puts you in a position where you were in a better chance to win.
Yeah, which makes this even worse because the bottom line is they never should have been there.
So even if you want to say the decision was bad, which I agree,
they were all bad. Every decision from that last stop was bad.
That decision to run 3 into the back of the line and punt, that still didn't, even though it's a bad decision.
The only reason it didn't kill them was because they ran the clock down to 10 seconds.
Well, no, and
so he had no chance to kill them.
Also, your defense stopped Green Bay on the first possession in OT.
Yeah, they did by the skin of their teeth.
Right, but they did. And you got the ball to 50 and then couldn't win. That's the real egregious part.
No, the egregious part was not going for it in regulation.
But then you're at the 50 with the field goal to win it.
Yeah, you're not going to make it from the 50. You have to get to you still have to get to the 35. They didn't even do that.
15 yards.
I know.
That's what I'm saying. That to me lies the scandal.
I'm saying
not the decision.
No, I'll tell you what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about here is momentum. That's what I'm talking about. You had all the momentum with 1 minute and 52 seconds to go in the game, and you gave it up.
Right.
You gave it up.
But then you also had more than momentum. You had good field position.
You had the ball to 50.
And a chance to put it away.
But the difference is now it's overtime, and the Packers are like, all right, well, they wouldn't even, you've given, the other team has momentum.
Nah.
They do.
Nah. When your offense shits the bed on the first possession of OT, you don't have momentum. The Pats had momentum.
The reason they shit the bed is because they went back into freaking conservative mode.
Exactly.
Which is what they went into at the end of regulation when they didn't have to.
No, I'm saying the Packers offense shit the bed on the first possession of OT.
No, it was third and they actually moved. They got it to a third and short situation. They just didn't convert it.
Right, and the Pats stuffed them.
It wasn't. No, they didn't stuff them. It wasn't that. It was a miss. Actually, it was a drop.
Okay,
what it was. Okay.
Right. So the Packers offense shit the bed. The momentum then shifted back to the Pats, and they couldn't take advantage of it.
I don't think a fair catch is a momentum shifter. I just don't.
What do you mean?
Well, nothing. The defense. The Packers dropped what should have been a first down.
That's a big momentum swing.
They punt the ball. You had nothing to do with it. They just dropped the ball. You didn't stonewall them. It wasn't like
you're telling me momentum can't swing on a mistake.
I'm saying momentum doesn't swing. Momentum swings on a turnover, something like that.
That is a turnover
or a sack. No, it's a drop.
You got the ball back.
It's a drop.
Right.
It's not a turnover.
That's a big mistake by the other team that gives
that was
you an opportunity to win.
You had nothing to do with it.
Doesn't matter. It still shifts momentum. You're telling me only something that somebody does on purpose shifts momentum?
No, I'm not saying that's the only thing. I'm saying that on the scale of where this is, that's not the thing that tips the ball. He dropped a pass. That's not the. It's a fumble. It's a QB sack. Okay. It's a stuff on a 4th and 1, and that's a momentum.
I disagree.
Okay, you can disagree. I'm saying you have to agree.
If somebody drops a 4th down pass.
Saying to me they blew their chance at this. There was no. Here's the thing. I don't care what happened in overtime. The second it went to overtime, they were losing. You know why? Because they were already playing over their head. They shouldn't even been in overtime. They should have lost that game by the second string. That guy sucks too. That guy had lost 11 in a row. They never should have been at 24-24, Tom. That's what I'm saying to you. They never should have been in the game, but they were.
Yeah. No,
and when you're in the game, you don't let's play for overtime. And
I'm not saying
at that point, reality sets in.
So again, RJ, I'm not saying you should play for overtime. I agree. They should have went for it at the end of the 4th quarter.
Yeah.
My only point is that it didn't end up costing them, in my opinion, because they
played it safe.
They still had a chance to win, better chance. They had a better chance to win in overtime.
From the field position standpoint, yes.
That's all.
From
a
mental standpoint, no.
I don't know about that.
I do, because they were over the look. Water seeks its level. They were 9.5 point favorite before Hoyer got underdog before Hoyer got knocked out. So at that point, they're not a 9.5-point favorite. Now they're a freaking 28-point underdog when he goes down because Zippy Zappy Zoopy hasn't done anything but throw passes to the water boy all preseason. Now he's coming out there and there's Aaron Rodgers on the side of the field in Green Bay.
Yeah, but they're winning with 2 minutes left.
That's my point. When you're in that moment, you have to seize it then. You don't do anything. You don't run three. Well, we'll play for overtime. You don't have that team. If you had that team, okay, you wouldn't be 1-2 in the first place. If you had that team, you wouldn't have 8 turnovers in 2 games.
Zappy running things, man. Zappy came in and changed it up. They had that team.
You know, there was I don't know who did it, but whoever you are, you're a genius. There was a picture of Zappy today, and he looks 12.
Is it Zappy?
It's Zappy. It's Zappy. Patrick or what's his name?
It's not Frank Zappa.
I don't know what his name is. It's not even Patrick.
It's
probably.
Bailey Zappy.
Bailey. And anyway, there's a picture of him. He looks
like a dog.
He's got the Pats uniform on.
Isn't
He looks
that a dog's name?
Bailey.
Bailey. Where's no? Bailey's a person's name.
Person.
Right?
You can do. Yeah.
Who has a Bailey?
I think
Bailey. That's Krieg's dog's name.
That's true.
The dog's name.
It's got a dog's name.
I knew he had a dog's name.
You're not making this better.
No,
you're supposed to be helping me.
It's just funny. They went from McCorkle to a dog's name.
McCorkle to Bailey. Bailey and McCorkle. Sounds like a bad law firm. Anyway, Bailey Hoyer McCorkle.
Is it okay if I toss this?
Yes. It's just don't drink it. So anyway,
I had a couple sips.
My point, I'm sure you did. My point is, Bill Belichick, when you're in that moment,
seize it.
Don't listen to analytics and let's play for overtime. I don't care if you got the ball at the 50. It was academic. You could have got the ball in the 2 and you guys would have fumbled. Okay? Because at that point, reality sets back in. And the Packers basically went, oh my God, we played like ass and we're in overtime? Okay? This is like, give me a freaking break.
Dude,
this is what the break that the Kansas City Chiefs begged the freaking Colts to give them a week ago, and you handed it to them on a silver platter.
RJ, I agree with everything you're saying, and at the same time, there's some of it that I just feel like
I'm saying it was academic.
You're saying that, but then the Patriots come out. They stopped them on D.
The Patriots
could have. The Patriots
could have had
a better chance.
The Patriots could have returned the punt for a touchdown. That would have been called back for holding. The Pats could have. Listen, no, this is
you're going.
No, I'm not, because that's water seeking its level. Because it's you keep a team in the game. When you got a chance to put a team down, you put a team down. I don't care what happened in overtime was academic. They were going to lose.
No.
They did. They lost. They had the ball at the 50 and they didn't convert. Why? Because they were the inferior team to begin with. That's my fucking
so
point.
They couldn't do 15 yards then, but
they
could have done 60.
I'm saying
with 2 minutes left in the fourth.
You gave one of the 3 greatest quarterbacks in this league too many chances. And if he didn't go to overtime, he never would have got another one. Whether it's one or two.
But he got one in OT and couldn't
convert. He got one in OT because you didn't go for it in regulation.
But he got one in OT. You stopped him.
They were not going to convert.
But they stopped him.
The second, it doesn't matter. He was eventually going to win that game. You don't understand what I'm saying, and you're a Giants fan. You should totally understand what I'm saying. Because you say it to me all the time about the fucking Giants.
Dude,
okay?
I get what you're saying.
They were not going to convert in that situation. You know why? They're not good enough.
But somehow they were good enough in the fourth quarter. That doesn't make sense.
Bill Belichick made the determination that they weren't. So he ran at 3, played conservative, played not to lose, and lost. I don't care if they got the ball at the 50-yard line. I'm not talking about analytics. That game was over the second it went.
There's analytical about what I'm saying.
They got the ball at the 50. Statistically speaking, their chances were better.
No. I'm just saying. No, I'm observing what happened.
Yeah.
I'm not using analytics. I'm saying, look. He chose not to go for it. Now, look, what also could have happened if he went for it is they throw 3 passes, they stop the clock 3 times, they punt, and Aaron Rodgers wins it in the fourth quarter. That could have happened. I'm not saying that.
I would have, you know what? I'd have been okay with it. You know why? Because you're going to die. You die with no bullets in the gun.
But my saying,
you don't sit there and leave the ball, you sit the bat on the shoulder and go, you don't do it. You don't do it with a guy like that.
But the thing is, they got another shot at it, and they just...
They could have got 10 more shots at it on the Packer side of the 50, and they still wouldn't have converted. You know why? Because they're not that fucking good. Okay? They're not that fucking good because that dillweed, okay, who fucking made that call, also brought in all that personnel, which is why they're not that fucking good. Okay? So when you have that moment and you're the inferior opponent to steal one, you go and you steal it. And by the way, if he throws
that moment again
if he throws a it didn't matter. They blew it. They blew it. They had the Packers defense gassed.
I just feel like
they had them gassed.
They probably would have blown it in the fourth. They probably would have blown it in the fourth.
You want to know why that? Here's the thing. Here's the thing. The Packer defense, because the Pats sat on at the end of the first, at the end of regulation, basically had 15 minutes to recover. 15 minutes to recover, because between the rolling the guys out to discuss the overtime rules and the 10 fucking stupid commercials and Aaron Rodgers getting the ball and taking another 3.5 minutes off the clock, they had 15 fucking minutes, the equivalent of a quarter, to sit on their ass, rethink their life, and go, you're about to lose to a fucking third-string quarterback. And basically what they're saying is, I don't give a fuck if he gets the ball in the 25. They ain't scoring. Now, when they're dazed and flustered and fucking fatigued, if you're a great fucking coach and you sense that because you were moving the ball, okay, you say, all right, 152, 2 timeouts, we got to get to, we're at 35-yard line. We can do this. All right, what package we got? Let's go. And you go for it. If the fucking kid throws a pick, you live with it. And you know why? Because in the post-game locker room, Mr. I don't answer a question, okay, you could have said, do you know who that quarterback is? Do you know what his record is at home? Do you know who my quarterback is? He has no record. You know why? He never threw a meaningful pass until today. When you have a chance to win the game, you go for it. And you live with the consequences. Because you give that man too many chances, you're going to lose. You're going to lose. So you don't give him another chance when you have a chance to end it. And that's going, you know what? Not one reporter had a problem with that. They'd be like, okay. We're good here. Okay? Because that would have been Bill Belichick showing some fucking balls, which he used to have.
Spheres?
Or maybe it wasn't his balls at all. Those balls are now just in Tampa.
Planets.
Those cojones were number 12, not his. Okay? Bottom line is.
My toes are freezing.
Bottom line is, Bill Belichick, here's the good news, people. That team played well on Sunday, well enough to win. Their coach took it away from them. Okay? But if you look at the next 6 weeks, ready for this, Patriot Nation? If you can actually, first of all, you can't score in Detroit just quick because everybody and their mother scores on Detroit. Okay, if you can't score in Detroit and beat them at home, just pack up the season now, just end it. But if you beat Detroit, you got a chance to win 6 in a row because that's how the schedule shakes out. You got a chance to walk into Minnesota at 6 or 7-3.
With Zappy?
By then, Mac will be back.
By when?
He'll be back by Minnesota. That's 7 weeks away. He'll be back by then. It's already been a week.
No, but you're saying they could go 6-0.
They could win. They could, yeah, because their defense is good enough. Okay.
With Zapatanza?
I saw nothing about his game that told me he can't beat Indy, the Jets, Detroit, Chicago. This is what's on the horizon. Cleveland. They can beat every damn one of these teams because their defense is good enough to keep
probably the best team
of the lot, and they can't. They lost to the Jets for crazy. They blew a 13-point lead.
They basically said, "Here."
The point is,
Jets.
Yeah, and then they lost. They lost to Atlanta yesterday. They lost to Atlanta yesterday. Yeah, they lost to the Falcons yesterday. Okay, so Cleveland's very beatable. Every one of these next 6 games is winnable, Bill. And I understand you're going to have a good enough team, regardless of who's throwing the ball. Okay, or hand it off to win all 6 of them starting this Sunday. If you're the coach that you think you are, you better win all damn 6 of them.
He's got Frank Zappa playing QB.
Hey, that kid played well enough to win. The moment wasn't too big for him. He had a couple of early throws when he was peeing himself, but then when he relaxed, took a breath, he was fine. Okay, he did. He was nervous in the beginning, which totally is understandable because Aaron Rodgers over there, and he's a third. Yeah, okay, understood him. But then you know what? He gathered himself and he became a professional. He played very well. That kid's good enough. You need to freaking go get these next 6 because you can win the next. Look at that Pat schedule and you tell me one game, I don't care who you are, that they can't win. Realistically can't win. Okay, because they can win all of them. None of those teams is that good. None of them. Okay, so and everybody's talking about. Oh, here's the other problem. Moral victories, New England, drop it. There's no moral victory. You know it, and I know it. I don't want to hear about, they fought so hard, and they gave it such a good try. And oh my God. No. At the end of the day, they pissed away a chance to be 2-2 and beat that son of a bitch in his building, okay? Because their coach, they shrunk. Well, they better grow back, Bill, and fast. Because if you don't win all 6 of these next ones, not going to be the one coming after you.
All right, let's let him go.
From a very frigid, frosty, angry sack with frozen toes. That's the frozen one. Tom is the redoubtable one. On the highly questioned one. We will see you on Wet My Whistle Wednesday, where I think it will be warmer.
Call me Sub-Zero.
So Man Up Monday is over. Yeah, it's warmer. Man Up Monday, Tip Back Tuesday. We will see you in 48 hours.
Tip Back Tuesday.
Stay loose.